Picture a landscape cracked by severe drought. Now watch that same dead earth suddenly burst into a dense field of golden grain. That stark contrast, from absolute emptiness to an overwhelming harvest, is exactly the shift we are tracing today. We are grounding this exploration directly in the Hebrew text. Specifically, we're unpacking a reflection on chapter 3 of the book of Ruth, looking closely at how an impossible situation gets turned around. To understand the stakes, look at the daily reality for Naomi and Ruth. Losing a husband meant losing all economic protection. Survival required gleaning, walking behind the harvesters in the brutal heat, picking up leftover scraps of grain just to secure one more meal. They were trapped at the bottom of the social ladder. Surviving the upcoming winter meant Naomi had to stop mourning what they had lost and start calculating a way out. Naomi gives Ruth a very specific set of instructions: to wash, anoint herself, and go down to the threshing floor at night. This is a deliberate, highly calculated pursuit of a legal remedy. The plan hinges on the kinsman-redeemer law. A close male relative carries a strict obligation to buy back family land and protect vulnerable widows. Boaz fits that description. Connecting Ruth to Boaz is their solitary pathway out of poverty. By identifying the legal mechanism and positioning Ruth to trigger it, Naomi sets up the defining moment of their lives. The execution of this plan happens in the dead of night, in a pitch-black agricultural workspace covered in dust and chaff. Ruth sneaks onto the threshing floor and uncovers Boaz's feet while he sleeps. If she is discovered by the wrong person here, her reputation is destroyed. She absorbs this immense personal risk entirely for someone else. Her goal is to secure an heir for her deceased husband's family line and provide for her mother-in-law. At midnight, Boaz startles awake. He finds a woman lying at his feet in the dark. He holds all the power, and his reaction dictates whether Ruth is protected or publicly ruined. This extreme vulnerability forces Boaz to make an immediate, definitive choice about his own morality. Rather than driving her away in anger or taking advantage of the isolation, Boaz listens. He immediately offers a promise of redemption and vows to handle the legal obligations by morning. His quick acceptance comes from a very specific place, and it has nothing to do with superficial physical attraction in the dark. Boaz is reacting to Ruth's established track record. He holds a profound admiration for her selfless love toward Naomi and her steadfast faith in a God that isn't originally her own. In an era where people typically chased wealth or youth, Ruth chose the harder path of family loyalty. She refused to conform to the secular norms, and Boaz deeply respects her for it. Naomi provided the logistics, but Ruth's integrity is what actually triggers Boaz's commitment to act. When morning breaks, the heavy tension of the night lifts. The risky midnight gamble transitions into a clear daylight resolution. This data visualization illustrates the physical guarantee Boaz gives to Ruth before she leaves. 6 massive measures of barley poured directly into her shawl. It's a rapid shift from near starvation to a heavy volume of grain. Carrying that physical weight back into town proves to Naomi that the verbal agreement is solid. The grain signifies that Boaz will not rest until the legal redemption is settled at the city gates. Those 6 measures of barley feed the women, yes, but they also serve as a tangible receipt. They are physical proof of a divine blessing already in motion. This brings us to the core takeaway of this text study. Divine intervention rarely happens in a passive void. It requires people to show up and fulfill their duties. Looking closely at the rigid structure of these ancient scrolls, we see how God's grace operates. It moves precisely through exceptions and loopholes found within human legal frameworks, activated by human faithfulness. Naomi built the strategy. Ruth provided the courage. Boaz supplied the honorable response. Together, these 3 individuals acted as the necessary vessels to carry out the rescue. Through Naomi's strategy, Ruth's risk, and Boaz's honor, a household facing starvation was rebuilt into a lineage of